Hey guys, welcome to Juicy Tea, where I read out the best stories on Reddit, so you don't have to. The funny, shocking, and satisfyingly juicy. Trigger warning for child grooming. Am I the a-hole for suspecting that my best friend is sleeping with my dad? Posted by Sage8980. My dad, 54 male, and my best friend, 20 female, let's call her Sophie, have been acting suspiciously for quite a long time. I've always sensed a little tension between the two of them that sparks up whenever she comes over, with my dad finding ridiculous excuses to leave the room and her getting all awkward. I always assumed it was just them being introverted. I know this isn't enough of a reason to suspect that something's going on, but things have been playing out weirdly since then. Sophie and I became friends in 2018 and have been close ever since. She's almost as close as family and helped me get through 2019. That's when my parents got divorced. So if they're 20 and met in 2018, that would mean that she was 14 when her dad first met this girl. My younger brother and I have been living with dad ever since the divorce. Sophie and I used to hang out at least 5 or 6 times a week, but lately, it's come down to us hanging out only once a week. Uni being the reason behind it, and I respect that, hence why I didn't pry any further. Coming back to the topic, last time we hung out, it was at her place. The plan was to catch up on our movie nights we'd skipped for the past 2 months. So, while she was taking a shower, I noticed a bracelet on her nightstand. Fast forward to 3 days ago, my dad and I were tracking the shipment details of our aunt's birthday gift when a very familiar bracelet caught my eye in the past orders list, and I immediately recognized it as the one I'd seen on Sophie's nightstand, or at least it was completely identical to it. Another reason that fueled this very weird suspicion was when my dad abruptly cancelled on a family dinner about 2 months ago, saying it was a work emergency. Having no other plans, I called up Sophie. She answered almost breathlessly and asked me about my day. I told her about the cancelled dinner and asked her to hang out. She declined, saying she had to meet up with her mum that night. And then something weirder happened. I heard Elton John's Tiny Dancer playing in the background, which is my dad's ringtone, followed by an abrupt silence. All this happened while I sat beside my brother, who just dialed dad. I asked her about that sound, and she said, "Oh, it was probably just the Google Home malfunctioning." I wish this was the only reason why I was suspicious of them, but about 2 weeks ago, I invited Sophie to a family dinner with us. My younger brother was bringing his longtime girlfriend, so my dad said it'd be a good idea to see if Sophie wanted to join us too. Which was odd, but I thought he just didn't want me to feel left out. My dad is always in charge of picking the restaurants, and this time, he decided to pick out a new place a few miles from our neighbourhood, and it coincidentally turned out to be the place that Sophie had been pestering me to go to with her. I thought this was a lucky coincidence, but I still couldn't help but find it a little odd. Things got weird when my dad went to order the food. I picked out a dish, and so did my brother and his girl, but Dad didn't wait for Sophie to say what she wanted to have and just ordered a dish for her. She didn't seem to have a problem with it, which is crazy because Sophie's a very picky eater, and also because it's kind of rude to order for someone else without asking them. I confronted my dad then and there, and he said that he'd just taken a lucky guess. Sophie seemed visibly tense and uncomfortable and just kept asking me to let it go. I didn't want to spoil everyone's mood, so I didn't stretch it out any further. I confronted Sophie about it yesterday and was met with an argument that included her denying all the claims and calling me crazy for even thinking about the possibility of it. But she ended her sentence by saying, "If we were, how would that affect you in any way? I'd still be your best friend, and he your dad." Am I the a-hole for jumping to conclusions, or am I really going crazy? Down in the comments, a throwaway says, "The even if we were statement sounds like an admission to me. I'm sorry this is happening, but I say trust your instinct. And please, update us all, lol." Canadian Jedi Council says, "Yep, a normal response would have been, 'What? Oh my god, I would never!'" Data Slinger says, "Okay fine, but if you get married, I'm not calling you mum." Rint Babs says, "She should 100% start calling Sophie mum and tell her she's just practicing." Nimi the Phoenix says, "Yeah, in front of the dad." So, I found an update to the story 2 days later using a different username. Quick background. So, my dad bailed on yet another dinner with me and my brother Caleb. Oddly enough, Sophie was also never available whenever dad would ghost us. Something always came up for the both of them. I don't know what made me suspicious at first. Just some unknown force you can feel when two people in the same room are trying to keep a secret from everyone else in the room. So when my dad bailed this time, I had to try something. With Caleb by my side, I called Sophie. She picked up immediately, seemingly out of breath. That's when I gave Caleb the signal. Then I heard it in the background. It was Tiny Dancer by Elton John, my dad's ringtone. There it was. My field of view narrowed and my body buzzed. My best friend from the past 10 years and my father! Fast forward to today, 6 years later. I couldn't listen to that song for years. Then, one day, it came onto the radio on a dark country road, and I belted it out cathartically. This was, of course, after I left the farmhouse that my dad and Sophie bought together. They bought the place after Sophie graduated from college. My brother and I used to joke about how they're going to start a commune out there. I haven't spoken much with my dad these past few years. We exchanged Christmas cards and happy birthdays, but I really can't recall the last time I hugged the man. It must have been when my son, Noah, was born 5 years ago. Jason, my husband, had talked me into letting him come to meet his grandson. Jason talked me into a lot of things. Just like every new waitress, I thought I was different though. I kicked him out after I walked in on him screwing the new red-headed waitress. God, what a cliche. Yeah, good for you, Jason. You got to F a younger version of me, who's 15 pounds lighter. I let him keep the restaurant. In return, I got the house and Noah. Also, his emergency fund, which he kept in a safe at the house. Pro tip for all the married men who like to dip their stick into any engine that will fit. Don't keep a stack of cash in the house that your wife knows about. So anyway, it was my dad's 60th birthday. He was so adamant about Noah and me being there. My brother Caleb had stayed relatively close to the man. After all, it's not like he was effing his best friend. And if he was, I'm sure it'd still be hailed as some great love story. Look at how their love spans the age. True love waits for no one. Yeah, I've seen Call Me By Your Name, and I still find it creepy. As Caleb really wanted us there, I went for him. Not to mend the fence between me and David. God, I couldn't even call him my dad after this. It wasn't for lack of trying on his end. He's always tried to be part of mine and Noah's life. He even Cash Apped me $100 every week while I was finishing my masters. I knew he didn't use Cash App. The old man could barely figure out how to use Hulu. It had to be Sophie helping. Sophie, my best friend through every year of high school. Sophie, who would spend countless days at our house. Sophie, who would lay out by the pool with me in our bikinis we thought were so skimpy. We thought we were going to make every boy look our way. Was he looking at Sophie the whole time? Is that what she wanted? Wow, if I was OP, I'd be feeling so guilty that I'd exposed my friend to that predator, not wondering if the literal minor had been asking for it. When did it turn from the playful friend's goofy dad to the playful boyfriend? It makes me want to throw up. Gross, that poor girl. It must be $1,500 he sent me over those years. That's what I'll do. I'll give it back to him, just so he knows I never touched it. I didn't need his money. I needed him to not take my best friend from me. It was a 30-minute drive once we hit the gravel road, passing only cows and grass along the way. We pulled into the front yard and, begrudgingly, I have to admit, this place is damn beautiful. Just what you'd imagine when you imagine going out into the country to escape it all. A 2-story white house with a wraparound porch. Of course, 2 rocking chairs by the door with a table in between. Okay, Sophie is just effing with me now. Was she really reading Leaves of Grass, or did she just leave it on the table to mess with me? It was the assigned reading over the summer between our junior and senior year. Somehow, it felt like that collection of poems was the soundtrack of our summer. We'd go on about how we'd wish a boy would sing our body electric. She's effing with me, I know it. I headed in as the party was well underway. The inside was just as perfect. Hardwood floors, beautiful staircase, and high ceilings. I sat down without making eye contact with anyone. I told Noah to go play with Seth and Cindy. Caleb's kids are here every month, so I'm sure they can show him where the fun is. David was in the middle of opening gifts. I recognised most of these old men, old co-workers that David still kept in touch with. David sold his stake in the trailer company and retired to move out here with Sophie. I'm not sure on the exact number of the payout, but Caleb mentioned that Seth and Cindy wouldn't have to worry about college, and neither would Noah, if I'd allow it. David thanked everyone for his presents. Honey, wait, aren't you missing one? That voice just cut my soul. Every animal instinct in me just curled into a ball inside my stomach and started scratching the inside. Sophie's voice. That's not her real voice. That's her Southern Belle, sexy babe voice. I've heard the real Sophie. Is the real Sophie even real though? Sophie had been sitting across from me, trying to catch my eye. Even without looking, I could tell she's still gorgeous. She could have had any guy her age. Why David? She's smart, pretty, assertive, and she has to F my dad? Sophie stood up and handed him a rectangular box. Sweetie, you didn't have to. I told you that. As he opened the box, David's face went from feigning gratitude to shock, to delight, to flush red, holding back tears. Are you? I can't believe this. I love you so much. No, not real. I'm dreaming. I mean, why would I come out here anyways? Nope, my dad did not get Sophie pregnant. No, Sophie's not giving me a sibling. No, this isn't real. Noah, where is Noah? We're leaving. As they were hugging and congratulating, I found Noah and walked out to the grass. We were heading for the car as that voice cut through me again. Candace, wait! No, Sophie, I'm not waiting. Are you effing serious? Can't we talk about this? It's been 8 years. Talk about you being my effing stepmom? You were supposed to be my best friend, not my dad's F-toy. Candy, it's not like that. You know we love each other. Yeah, apparently, since I'm gonna be a big sister. Are you gonna raise a kid while you're changing both their diapers? Candy, please. I've never stopped thinking about our friendship. You're still my best friend. I hope you know that. I couldn't muster any more words without crying through them. I hurried Noah to the car. He's heard enough today. Driving down the dark stretch of gravel road, I turned on the radio. I just needed another voice to drown out the thoughts in my head. Then, that piano hits. Blue Jean Baby. I sung every note, each chorus lifting my voice higher, and it lifted more of the weight off my stomach. I'll drive this road again, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, but I'll be back down it, listening to the radio, on my way to see my stepmom, who maybe one day could be my best friend again. I'm almost certain this story is made up, thank God. But if it was real, that poor girl needs therapy and an escape plan. But like I said, it's almost certainly fake. Like, the age has changed by 6 years, not 8 like the title says. OP flip-flops between calling it college and uni. She posted the first story 2 days ago, not 6 years ago. And it's just overall written like fiction. Remember, I post new content every day, so subscribe for more juicy tea.